Have you ever wondered how to transform simple water and color into art? Welcome to the mesmerizing world of watercolor painting, a realm where pigments dance with water, creating a symphony of hues. With just a few strokes of a brush, an explosion of color breathes life into a blank canvas. Whether it's a vivid landscape, a delicate flower, or an abstract masterpiece, the possibilities are endless. In the next 10 minutes, we'll unlock the essentials you need to begin your watercolor journey. To embark on your watercolor journey, you need the right tools. The first essential item is, of course, watercolor paints. These come in two forms: tubes and pans. Tubes are great for larger works and mixing custom colors, while pans are portable and perfect for on-the-go painting. Remember, it's not about the quantity but the quality of paints that will make the difference in your artwork. Next up, brushes. Watercolor brushes come in a variety of shapes and sizes, each serving a different purpose. Round brushes are versatile and excellent for broad strokes and fine details. Flat brushes, on the other hand, are perfect for washes and bold strokes. And then, there are mop and fan brushes for unique textures and effects. Investing in a good set of brushes will take your painting to the next level. Now let's talk about the canvas of watercolor painting. The paper. Watercolor paper is thick and highly absorbent, designed to hold water and paint without warping or pilling. It comes in three textures: hot pressed, which is smooth; cold pressed, which has a slight texture; and rough, which is, well, the roughest of them all. Each brings a different feel to your artwork, so don't be afraid to experiment. Last, but definitely not least, is the palette. This is where the magic happens. It's where you'll mix your colors, creating unique hues and shades that will breathe life into your art. Palettes come in all shapes and sizes, but the most important thing is that they have plenty of space for mixing. Remember, every artist has their own preferences. What works for one might not work for another. It's all about experimenting and finding what works best for you. With these tools in hand, you're ready to set up your workspace. A well-organized workspace is crucial for a seamless painting experience. Just as a chef needs a well-arranged kitchen, a painter thrives in a well-set workspace. It's like your little corner of creativity, where every brushstroke leads you deeper into the world of colors. First, let's talk about arranging supplies. The golden rule is to keep everything within arm's reach. Brushes, paints, paper, and palettes should be accessible without having to stretch or move around too much. You might prefer to keep your brushes to your dominant side and the paints and water on the other. But remember, there's no right or wrong here. It's all about what feels comfortable and efficient to you. Now let's shed some light on lighting. Natural light is a painter's best friend. Position your workspace near a window if you can. But if that's not an option, get a daylight simulation bulb. It gives off a white light that mimics natural daylight, perfect for showing the true colors of your paints. Lastly, consider workspace ergonomics. The height and angle of your table, the comfort of your chair, even the tilt of your painting surface. These can all impact your comfort and therefore, the quality of your painting. A slightly inclined surface can aid in controlling the flow of water and pigment, a crucial aspect of watercolor painting. Now that your workspace is set, let's dive into some basic techniques. Mastering basic techniques is the first step in creating stunning watercolor paintings. Let's dive right into the world of watercolor techniques. The first technique we're going to look at is wet on wet. This is where the magic of watercolor really shines. You start by moistening your paper with clean water. Then, while it's still wet, you apply your color. The paint will naturally spread and blend on the paper, creating soft edges and transitions. This technique is perfect for creating dreamy backgrounds, skies, or any area where you want a smooth blend of colors. Next up is the dry brush technique. It's quite the opposite of wet on wet. For this, you want your brush to be fairly dry, loaded with just enough paint. When you stroke the dry brush across the paper, you get a textured, broken effect. The dry brush technique is great when you want to create rough textures like bark, grass, or fur. Now let's talk about gradients. A gradient or gradation is a smooth transition from a dark tone to a lighter tone of the same color. To create a gradient, start with a heavy concentration of pigment and gradually add more water to your brush as you move down the paper. This technique can be used to create dramatic skies, shadows, or any element that requires a gradual change in tone. Finally, let's delve into color mixing. Watercolor painting isn't just about using colors straight from the tube or pan, it's about creating your own shades and hues. You can mix colors on your palette before you apply them to the paper or directly on the paper for a more spontaneous effect. Understanding color theory and how different colors interact can help you achieve the desired effect in your paintings. Remember, watercolor painting is all about control. Control of your brush, control of water, and control of pigment. But it's also about freedom. The freedom to experiment, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. The more you practice these techniques, the more you'll understand how water, pigment, and paper interact. And the more confident you'll become in your painting skills. As with any skill, mastering watercolor painting takes time and patience. But don't let that discourage you. Keep practicing, keep experimenting, and most importantly, keep having fun. Every stroke you make, every color you mix, and every painting you complete is a step forward in your artistic journey. So go ahead, grab your brushes, your paints, and your paper, and start practicing these techniques. Remember, there's no right or wrong in art. It's all about expressing yourself and creating something that brings you joy. With these techniques under your belt, you're ready to tackle your first project. Starting with simple projects is a great way to apply your newfound skills. Imagine turning a blank canvas into a vibrant landscape or a delicate floral design. Sounds exciting, right? Let's explore a few beginner-friendly projects to help you get started. First up, landscapes. Landscapes are a staple in the world of watercolor painting. Start by painting a basic horizon line. Then, layer different shades of blue and green to create a serene sky and lush fields. Remember to let each layer dry before applying the next. This technique, known as glazing, allows for depth and variation in color. Next, let's dive into the world of floral designs. Flowers are a fantastic subject for beginners due to their versatility and simplicity. Start with a basic shape, say a circle for a rose or an oval for a tulip. Gradually add layers of color, going from light to dark, to give your flower depth and dimension. Don't forget to leave some areas white to represent highlights. Lastly, abstract patterns. Abstract art is all about freedom of expression. There are no rules, just let your brush dance on the paper. Experiment with different brush strokes and color combinations. You can create a symphony of colors or stick to a monochromatic palette. The choice is yours. Now, these projects may seem daunting at first, but don't worry. The key is to take it one step at a time. Break each project down into simple, manageable tasks. Start with the base layer, add details, and then refine your work. And most importantly, have fun with it. Watercolor painting is a journey of exploration and creativity. And remember, the beauty of watercolor lies in its unpredictability. Embrace the way colors bleed into each other, creating unique patterns and textures. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They often lead to happy accidents that add character to your painting. As you work on these projects, you'll start to get a feel for the medium. You'll discover how water interacts with pigment, how different brushes create different effects, and how pressure and angle affect your strokes. These insights will help you develop your unique painting style. Remember, practice makes perfect. The more you paint, the better you'll become. So grab your brushes, dip them in color, and let your creativity flow. Happy painting. Improving your watercolor skills is a journey, not a destination. It's all about embracing the process, growing and evolving with every brush stroke. Make it a habit to practice regularly. Consistency is key. Set aside dedicated time each day, or even just a few times a week. Don't shy away from experimenting with different techniques, styles, and color palettes. Remember, every masterpiece begins with a willingness to try. Mistakes, they're not roadblocks, but stepping stones on your path to improvement. Each misstep is an opportunity to learn, to refine your skills. Don't erase them, embrace them. They're a part of your artistic growth. And where to find inspiration? It's all around you. The vibrant sunset, the gentle rustle of leaves, the quiet beauty of an empty street. Let the world be your muse. Let it fuel your creativity and guide your brush. Dive into the world of watercolor painting and unleash your creativity. Subscribe for more guides and tips to nurture your artistic journey.